Right, good morning everyone. Well, today is a nice day as you can see, but the last couple of days have been pretty miserable. Yesterday was pretty bad. I stood the lates off on the yard last night just to keep them off the paddock. You can see the springers, there's a little bit of mess. It's not too bad, you know, that's not actually that bad. You can see the grass still. Yeah, so this morning I've already milked cows, drafted some more springers, so we've added some more springers here. We've got 58 in here now, and still got the lates to put on their paddock, and I've still got to go and get cows and heifers and their calves in. There was 2 here this morning. Yesterday we officially started calving, so yesterday was the 25th of July, so we've started calving now, and we had 30 in yesterday, so we've got 32 so far, and whatever's over in the heifers, so they're actually just behind the trees. But I was going to measure the pasture and that paddock that I sprayed, so we've got to go and do that today, because today is Tuesday. Yesterday it was just horrible. I wasn't even going to attempt doing it, and the day before, Sunday, was just as bad. So I'm going to go up there and measure that pasture, and we'll see how much it's growing. But besides yeah, the temperature at the moment is, it's actually really hot. Like, I've been shorts and overalls. Normally, you know, normally we should see it a bit cooler than this. So my prediction, I don't know if I said it earlier, but everyone that I've talked to, I said it's going to be a mild, wet winter, and so far it's been that. So yeah, but mild's alright. Wet, yeah, it could be a bit better if it wasn't raining so much. So yeah, just put the springers on their brake, dusted them, given them some hay. So I'm about to go and do the lates. As you can see, we've finished this end of the paddock. That's their last brake, so I've set up a new brake on this side. So now we're going to work down towards the gate, so they will clean this piece of race up that I've got here. And yeah, so we're going to go and do the lates, and we've also got to draft out some springers at the runoff. Today there's at least 7 out of there's 14 cows down there, so there'll be 7 left. So I'm going to take some more down there probably, because I would like to keep it stocked, try and use that grass up down there and the silage. So yeah, the time, I think it was nearly 10 o'clock. So we're not far away from sending milk, probably in the next 4 days. This morning I had a little count up to see how many milkers we had. We've sort of got around 10, so by the time we start adding more cows in over the next couple of days, we'll have enough to send some milk. So yeah, we're getting closer. Be good to send milk a little bit earlier, because obviously we've brought our calving date forward now. We used to be 1st of August calving, now we're 25th of July. So yeah, that's the plan. Right, we'll get on with it. So I've just started grazing our new grass for the third time, and you can see it's just recovering so quickly. If you cannot do any damage on the pasture with the rain, the grass is just growing so much at the moment. So when I was going back to the gibberellic acid, it's almost don't need to do gibberellic acid at the moment. It's just not cold enough. So it'll be interesting to see how much it's growing up there and compare sides. So yeah, we'll carry on. Just picked up some dusting. We're starting to get through the hay. We need to get through this hay so we can get to the silerators. We'll need them probably October. We have done some in September before, so it's not that far away. So we need to get this barn emptied out a bit so we can get to them. You can see we've had a bit of rain. It's always a bit wet around the front of the barn. Need to work on some drainage. I tried to get it to drain that way, but yeah, if I don't know if people saw the news this morning, majority of a lot of Coromandel roads are blocked because of slips. So yeah, we've had a good chunk of rain over the last few days. So yeah, I have seen a little bit of flooding, so hopefully all the farmers are doing all right up that way. Right, girls, ready to go? Come on, girls. My favourite cow, 109, big gilt. Alright, so hopefully I can leave the cows on here for a day, give them a break, save them putting them on the yard. Hopefully the weather holds off. There is meant to be some more showers, but we'll just see how we go. So, alright, now we're going to go and do the heifers. So it looks like we got 2 calves. We'll need to have a little check in the grass here, but it looks like just 2 heifers, so 2 heifers of calves, so yeah. I don't know if anyone else is having the same thing, but our heifers calved a few days ago. We had 23 cows calved, and out of the 23 cows calved there was 16 heifers. So we've only got, I think, 22 left, because obviously we've had a few over the last couple of days, so that's pretty good. It's actually quite nice, because this mob's nice and small now, easy to handle. So you can see they've made a little mess in the corner here because the wind would have driven them into the corner here. So otherwise it's actually pretty good over the rest of the paddock, and right now they're going to get a fresh break, so they'll be even happier. So let's get on with it. Alright, so I got the 2 heifers out. I've actually, if I feel like they will jump back over the wire back into the heifers, I'll actually walk them down and I'll shut the gate on the race over there, so they're locked down on the race. So they just give me time to set the fence up and not have to worry about the heifers getting back in. But that's how I do it by myself. They get used to, like, the others don't even want to come out. If they're not calved, they won't come out. If you're bringing those cows that are calved out this way, generally everything else turns around and goes back. Sometimes I'll take other ones back with me and then bring them back once I've sorted them out. So yeah, so now we're in the keeper calf shed, and we've got number 7 right there, and we've got number 8. So this is the one I brought in, this one here early this morning. It's off a cow, so it's number 9. It's a keeper. So yeah, this is quite nice. We must have at least 5 heifers now, and we've got a handful of bulls. Because we're not keeping replacements off the heifers, means it takes a little bit longer for us to get our replacements. But Suzanne, this morning she put the calves outside, so we like to get them outside as soon as possible. Like, yeah, these ones would only be 4 days old, maybe even less, but yep, once they're feeding well in the calf shed, then she'll put them out here and she'll hang the calf feeders on the gate here and feed them. And then after that we'll train them on the big calf feeder. So we've got this pen here, we can close the gates, put the big calf feeder in here, bring the calves from this paddock into here and train them. So yeah, they're born in the wild, you know, they live outside, so we figure that they do just fine in the elements. She obviously didn't put them out yesterday because it was really raining, so she'll only put them outside when it's nice weather. Well, she'll only put new ones outside when it's nice weather. These ones here will stay outside from now on. So mixed, a motley coloured bunch. We got a Jersey looking one, and then these sort of grey ones, and then we get some darker ones over there. Nice calves. Right, so hopefully the wind is not going to affect the audio too much. But I don't know if you can see this, but the middle is about there. Now this side got sprayed with gibberellic acid, that side didn't. You can see that side's a lot darker green, and that side is sort of almost like a fluorescent green. It's hard to say, like a lighter green. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that on camera. But another thing I'd like to point out is all the, if you look at the clover here, see how it's all standing up, and the grass tends to stand up more. Even your weeds, they'll stand up. So here's a dock and sort of pointing more upright. That's the gibberellic acid working. It tends to make the grass sort of stand up. That's what I seem to notice. Yeah, put in the comments if you see the same things, if anyone else does this. Now we're going to go on to the other side. So see the clover here, it's a lot shorter. It's not as tall. The grass is sort of standing up, but it's still not as tall. These docks, they're not really standing up the same. They're a lot flatter. So this is on the side that had nothing. So yeah, now I'm going to plate meter both sides and we're going to see the difference in growth. Okay, so the average pasture cover over the whole paddock was 1396, so that's what was in the paddock. So we're going to now compare what is growing on the side that had gibberellic acid sprayed on it versus the side that didn't. So to get a more accurate result, I'm going to do the same amounts of, I don't know what you would call it, plunges up this side, and I'll do the same on the other side, just so we got the same amount. Right, so I've just plate metered the side that had gibberellic acid, and I've done 15 plunges, and it's come out as an average of 1662. So now I'll do one on the side that hasn't had gibberellic acid. So I've tried to stay away from urine patches and just do in between, because urine patches can obviously change the results pretty easily because there's a lot of grass growing on them. So yeah, I'm going to measure that other side now. Right, so I just plate metered the side that hasn't had gibberellic acid and urea, and it's come back as 1368, which is actually lower than what the original average for this paddock was. So one thing I didn't take into consideration was that this paddock gets shaded by the afternoon, sort of 2 or 3 o'clock. Once the sun gets over a bit further, it actually has quite a shaded area out here, but the rest of the paddock's all right. So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, let me know what you think. The gibberellic acid side has definitely got more grass than what this side is when you're walking it. It's hard to show it directly on camera as such. you're just gonna have to take my word for it. 9 days growth in there. Yeah, interesting. So what we've seen is interesting, but it will be more interesting to see the results, like I say, at 21 days growth, to see how much grass we've got in this paddock and comparing sides. So it's still early days. We'll just keep measuring it week by week and see how it goes. So yeah, all right, let's carry on.
Come in. So I can get through. I need to get through.
Yeah, just open it.
Just open it and just don't let the carpet sit there.
Stop it. Stop it.
Be kind to it.
I'm stopping it, Mum.
Are you?
I'll find number 2. One car's really friendly to me.
Yeah,
You might not be friendly.
it's hungry, Ezra.
Hey, is it chewing on me?
Number 1 is friendly.
Why? Cows is friendly.
You know what happens when you put the halter on them?
Ow.
They run away.
They usually...
Oh, wow.
I want to lead it now. Dad, can you hold my brush?
You know, you can't just pull them around, okay?
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Hey. The calf likes the lead.
Oh,
What do you
Boo.
call it? Go. It wants to go.
Alright, so the cows made it back from the runoff. Ended up having 6, and these girls have turned out awesome. Putting them down the runoff, our 16 lightest cows has really paid off. They're looking really good now. So I'm just going to let them out in the little paddock here for the night, and then tomorrow morning they can join the springers over there. And over the next couple of days I'll probably draft out another, I was thinking maybe 10 or 11 or a truckload to go back down to the runoff and join those other ones again. So yeah, that's the plan. So we'll get them in the paddock. You want to shut that gate? Yeah, you want to shut that gate?